Today, I want to talk about this very interesting problem by Uber. The title of this question is Pause to Add Channels. It is considered a hard question because it's just a one-liner and you need to really break down what you need to solve and how you need to solve. Um, so the importance of having that conversation with the interviewer, taking feedback and building on the um, blocks that are required to solve the question is kind of very critical in this case. Um, let's read out the question and get on this. Find the advertising channel with the smallest maximum yearly spending that still brings in more than 1,500 customers each year. So I think every single word counts here. You got to take a closer look at every single word, interpret it right, um, try to make sense of it, and ask the interviewer if your interpretation is right, because there could be several interpretations for the same question, and know what exactly they're looking for and what you need to solve for. Don't wait on it, keep bombarding questions, so you are getting to the right question problem you want to solve. So as usual, I want to put down the 4-step framework here. Understand the data, put together assumptions, um, write the high level logic in simple sentences, get to the final query and the output. One additional step which I would highly recommend is what are your key syntax errors that you come across or encounter while you're solving. It is very personalized, it's not fixed. These are the problems or errors I've been encountering over the period of time I'm trying to solve such questions. So I usually check for keywords, I check for aliases, I also check for indentation, because when you use subqueries and CTEs, indentation need to be intact. And I overall logic flow is kind of important to make sure before the query is being executed or signing off. So let's take a look at the table here. There are 4 simple columns. So one table, one single liner question. That's why it gets very interesting. It's kind of a mind twister. One table, 4 fields with the advertising channel, year, money spent, and customers acquired. So the way I'm understanding this question is to acquire 1,800 customers in the year 2019, the advertising channel called Celebrities spent about $10 million. So let's say if the 2,000 customers acquired by advertising channel in an year and they spent about $1 million, the acquisition cost for each customer is about $500. So just to, I would read that out to the interviewer and ask if that's the right interpretation, of if there is a different way to interpret that data. It's very helpful to start building blocks and actually get to the final objective. I don't know what's the final objective here, so as we go on, we should try and figure out those blocks. So we have the year of acquisition, we have the customers acquired, the money spent to acquire these customers, and the channel itself. Okay. Some of the assumptions, null values is simple. Do we ignore them or replace them with an arbitrary value? Replaced with an arbitrary value. Okay. So the way I'm understanding this question is 1,500 customers each year. So that's the right off the bat. So each year, there are multiple years. So one more good question I would I would ask is how many years worth of data is available, just to get a sense of, are we talking about 10, 15 years worth of data? In that case, we are trying to do an aggregation. If you want to find the maximum yearly spend, you want to run it through the different years. And are they looking for a minimum customer acquisition of 1,500 every single year they have been operating? In that case, you got to apply this 1,500 customer filter, acquisition customers filter across the board. Okay. So how many years of worth of data is available? And do I need to consider apply? Do I need to apply the criteria for all those years? All those years, as the question says, 1,500 customers each year available. Okay, so that's the second assumption. Um, the way I would solve this question is, number one, right off the bat, we want to filter for minimum customers acquired each year is 1,500. So we'll apply that filter to start with. And then we want to identify the maximum spend of channels identified in step number one. Out of the maximum spend, we want the smallest maximum yearly spend. Okay, smallest maximum yearly spend of channel in step number two. So the way we can get the smallest maximum yearly spend is a simple rank function. But I think that gives us one more hint about what kind of rank function do we need to use. Can there be gap? So how do I break the tie if there are multiple channels that satisfy the criteria? Okay, so now we have a good list of assumptions that we made. So I will start writing the query and then we can figure out with CTE1 minimum customers acquired. So we'll get the select ad. The final output only needs advertising channel. So we don't need other columns really. So we got the advertising channel and then we want to apply the main filter where customers acquired is greater than or equal to 1,500 for every single year the advertising channel is operating. So, and then you just get the table name here, Uber advertising. We can also identify the maximum spend in the same step, looks like. So it's not a big level of effort. So let's get the maximum money spent of as max spent. Let's just say max spent. Since we are getting an aggregation in here, let's do a group by, order by one. Order by is not really needed, but doesn't hurt to have. Oops, sorry. Go back here. So CTE2, we are trying to identify the smallest max spend, right? So let's just get that here. We have advertising channel. Let's get that one more time. And then we want to do, we're going to use dense rank because I'm assuming if there are multiple advertising channels that satisfy the same criteria, I'm going to return all of them. If that's not how they want you to break the tie, ask the interviewer how they want you to break the tie. So I'm going to order by the max spend that is identified here, and we want the smallest. So I'm going to say ascending order to identify the smallest as rank spend from, okay, and that's pretty much it. So let's get the expected output is just the advertising channel from the second CTE where the rank spend is equal to 1. Okay. Everything looks good. The keywords, indentation, and the overall flow of logic. CTU1, we applied the filter that is needed. Minimum acquisition customers, maximum spend. In the second part of the question, we are identifying using dense rank, we are identifying the minimum spend across all those years where the advertising channel um, um, had acquired customers. Okay, let's try and run this. So TV is the final answer. Let's check the solution. Great, that's solved. Yeah, I would just run through the logic one more time, ask those questions which are very much needed to build the blocks that you want to make sure you're solving the right question. That's all for now. We'll catch up again with some more interesting questions. Thanks.